Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, people. It's the 9th of November, and I'm back again with another Speed of Hunger series. And again, entitled From the Heart. Quite nice, actually. Space where you're able to actually quite, you know, be within your thoughts late at night, when everyone should be shutting down. My brain's on haywire mode. It's quite therapeutic, actually, going through all these things and, being able to express your thoughts freely without offending anyone, of course. But really, I just wanted to keep this short and really talk about a few things that are on my chest. And one of them on this journey of trying to create a project or trying to create something you want to give to the world. And also, finding out a lot about yourself while on this journey is your, I would say, I wouldn't say perseverance. I would say just kind of your own getting out of your head is kind of what I would want to talk about. What I mean by getting out of your head is it's so easy when you're doing something you love or something you enjoy to get so caught up in it and thinking that it's all right, it's all good, you can't do no wrong in it, that you trip up and make a lot of errors and mistakes. And instead of knowing, I guess a part of you to an extent knows where you're making errors and mistakes, but you gloss over it in the hopes that again, selfishly thinking that others will be okay with it, or others should understand it. But reality is they're not going to understand what you're doing. No one's ever going to work as hard and want something as much as you. And so you become a lot more sensitive to that. And what I mean by that is you any slight criticism, any slight feedback, any slight, anyone saying anything to you will make you feel away. And for you, it sucks. It sucks because on one hand, you're very much like yourself, you're being careful what you're developing, you're being careful what you're building. And on the other hand, it's like when you're the only one looking at it, you kind of get carried away and create something in your view and in your image. Not everyone's view and image is in the same as yours, even if you mean well. And that's kind of what the point of today's kind of conversation was, right? Kind of stepping out, step back in. Sometimes you have to do the painful thing when you're creating something or building something you love, to step back and allow it to go through its growing pains, the highs and lows, the brutal feedback, right? And then when you receive that, you can step back in with a clearer mind, more added thoughts to help you see other things differently, get you out your feelings, and build something better. It's kind of like, I can imagine, I'm not a parent, but being a parent, that fear you have of letting your child go into the world, you know, take the risk, make their mistakes, receive their feedback. And if you're a parent, I can imagine letting a child go out in the world, them receiving their feedback is falling over and hurt themselves. If you don't learn, you fail. That's an old Caribbean saying. So and if you don't choose to learn, then your product or your project will fail it. Do you know what I mean? And as much as it pains you, as much as you feel like I can't do no wrong, I feel like that is a very powerful thing, the willingness to accept what others have to say about it and what others do with it, and you standing coy and just as much as it may hurt, taking that all in and using that as fuel to better what you're doing, right? And I mean this in all walks of life, so not just like startups, just anything you love. So again, I'm talking about my company or my business and what I do, but this can be applied to anything, right? And I think for me, you know I've been doing speed for a very long time, and it is tough, it is hard, sometimes getting feedback you don't want to necessarily hear, especially when you spend so much money and time on a set thing, and you do get initial feedback from a few people you trust, but that's not right. Like, that's where I made a mistake, getting feedback from people I trusted as opposed to going out there and having complete strangers critique me. But you realize that is a lot more valuable than having friends and family give you feedback, because end of the day, friends and family can give you what you need to hear to an extent, but they're always going to be biased because they know how hard you work, they know your grind, and they care about you in that regard. But other people don't give a damn about that. They just want to see what you've got and whether it can serve them or not, and they're within their rights to feel that way. There's one thing I can tell people is this world don't owe you nothing. People don't owe you nothing. Customers, partners don't owe you nothing. So that's on you. Let's put it out there, hear what they got to say, really humble yourself, step out of it, step away from what you're doing. Let them do what they need to do with it, say what they need to say, and then you can step back in with a clearer mind, more views, more thoughts, and decide what do I want to do with that. Because I feel like, to an extent, whenever we do something we love and we feel like it has potential, in our eyes, that's our racehorse, that's our golden horse, golden goose. But for a lot of us, we don't know what to do with it. So I feel like one step to knowing what to do with it is hearing how potential consumers and the people that will be using it and fueling it how they feel about it, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to tell you how to use, how to actually use that golden goose or that racehorse. Well, to an extent, they're going to be using it, so you're going to know how it's actually used. So, all of that to say, step out of yourself, humble yourself. Definitely, as an entrepreneur, humble yourself and know when to step out of a situation, know when to step out. Take the necessary hits, take the pain, take it all in, and only then, when that's done, and when you feel like you've taken enough, or when you've got enough, you can step in with a clearer mind, step back with a clearer mind, and know that I love you, but we gotta grow. I love you, but this has to improve. I love you, but we could improve here and there. And there's always room for improvement. And if you're ever content enough to feel like what you're doing, what you love is enough, you clearly don't love it enough, mate. You clearly, you feel like, I feel like content is the dream killer. Content is the end. Content is hitting your ceiling. You should never be content. And again, and not being content and taking risks and wanting to see how far your project grows is a huge gamble. But there is no growth without risk. I love saying it like that. Risk. So yeah, those are my 2 cents today. But the key thing is step out to step in, step out to step in, step out to step in. Just do what you got to do. Get it handled. But at the end of the day, it's only going to better you. It's only going to better your opportunities. And it's only going to put you one step closer on your journey towards being the best you can be and creating the best product that you can do also. Cool. That's from another segment from the heart. Please do subscribe. Follow me on Ives K. Please follow my Instagram as well. Yeah, Ives K, my personal, and We Are Spieler. If you like this podcast, great. If you don't, please share it with somebody that might resonate with this. Hope you have a wonderful morning and a great Tuesday. Bye.